Hi guys, welcome to class. So let's look at the different types of bacteria. Yeah, bacteria has different types, so we can say type/classification. So now, ideally, there are different ways you can classify bacteria. Do you understand? So first off, on a broad basis, scientists will, biologists, let me narrow it down. Biologists will just want to use their characteristic shape because this bacteria, it presents with different shapes, but there are actually three major shapes it likes to present with. It can be spherical, so based on shape you can have spherical shape. Most commonly you can have rod shaped, and you also have some special guys that are spiral shaped. Then we have the Vibrio cholera presenting with curve shaped. So based on shape, you can have these different classification of bacteria, so based on shape, or let's say different types of bacteria based on shape. So if you are describing bacteria, you can hear words like when biologists want to describe, or microbiologists now, when you want to describe bacteria, you can hear this bacteria is spherically shaped. Now, based on their shape, they have their special names. For instance, if something is spherical shape, you hear them say cocci. So when I say staphylococci, now you get what I mean. I'm trying to say it is spherical shape. Do you get it now? So when you hear rod shaped, that is, you hear things like bacilli. Do you understand? Bacilli. Like we have this negative, gram-negative bacteria, anaerobic, which we call bacillus. It means it's rod shaped. So rod shaped, okay, we have an issue. So rod shaped, that's bacilli. And a good example of bacteria that exhibit this is a genus of bacteria we call cyanobacteria. They are rod shaped. Even your nitrogen fixing bacteria, the Azotobacter genus, is also rod shaped. So Azotobacter as well. Now spiral shaped, spirille. So you hear words like spirille. So you have spiral shape. So the word they call it is spirille. So when you hear spirille, it means more like. So when I describe a bacteria as spirille, I'm trying to say it's spiral shaped. And when you hear curve shape, that's Vibrio. You get it now. So the names don't come from the sky. One beauty thing about biological names is that it's just a manipulation of origins of them. So once you can manipulate, you can break down the words into their roots. It's good. It's even good for you to understand it like that. Because biology is such that you ride on, it's basically a knowledge of where you build on another. So when you take things from the roots, you take things from the ground level, you know the basic idea, it's easier for you to build on top of it. That's what science is all about. So spiral shape is spirille, and if it's curve shaped, another issue. And if it's curve shape, you say Vibrio. A good example is your Vibrio cholera, which causes one of the most deadliest diseases that are affecting children. Because you see toxins that cause release of fluid from your GI, causing massive dehydration. Vibrio. Yeah. So that's based on shape. Other times they want to classify based on utilization of energy. So based on how bacteria utilize energy, you can say a bacteria is aerobic. Aerobic means that bacteria can only perform when oxygen is abundant. And sometimes they will say obligate. So when you hear obligate parasites, or let's say, they also extend it in parasitology. When you hear obligate parasite, we're talking about a parasite that requires oxygen must be present for it to function. In terms of bacteria, when you say aerobic bacteria, it means a bacteria that requires oxygen to function. And you have another group we call facultative anaerobes. Facultative anaerobes. A good example is your spirochetes. They are facultative anaerobes. So it means that if there's oxygen, fine, and even if there's no oxygen, they will not still die. So they are like, they are not loyal, you get. Now you then have obligate anaerobes. That is, if they are exposed to a very little amount of oxygen, for little as 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, they can die. Do you understand? A good example is your Corium bacteria. No, your Corium is facultative. Clostridium, yeah, your Clostridium. Your Clostridium is a good example of an obligate anaerobes, your Clostridium difficile. And it's even what is responsible for the tetanus, Clostridium tetani. So, obligate anaerobes. Then you now have your microaerophiles. That is, they love oxygen, but they don't want their own love is not so deep. They just require little of oxygen. Less than 5% oxygen, they are fine. Microaerophiles. Microaerophilic bacteria. So these are another way you can classify, and now this classification is based on what? It's based on oxygen utilization. Based on oxygen utilization. Yeah, it's the way I can write that here. Well, we have to color code. So based on oxygen utilization. Now, finally, although just know it, but at your level, you will not really be bothered with that. There's something we call it, there's a technique in microbiology called gram staining. So, it's more like introducing a stain and seeing will you retain the stain or not. Well, gram positive retain the stain because they have a much thicker cell wall. Whereas the gram negative lose theirs because theirs is stain. So, you can either say a bacteria is gram negative. Now, gram negative means the stain is lost. So, under this technique, it is going to stain red or pink. Whereas, if you say gram positive, it means that the stain is retained. So, it's going to stain what? It's going to stain purple or blue. Alright. Yeah. So, these are the ways you can classify bacteria. So, see you in the next class.